everybody. Um, Scarlet LaCreepy here from Wattpad, and I'm going to narrate my book Hunters. Now, a lot of people seem to like this book, and I figured why don't I narrate it so people can actually hear kind of what it would be like. So, here we go. This is chapter 1. Annette, come on, we're going, Father yelled to me. Coming, Father, I yelled back. I grabbed my satchel with my gear in it and rushed downstairs. Let's do a gear check, Father suggested. Yes, sir. I handed him my satchel and checklist, and he handed me his. Let's see. Knife, gloves, skinning knife, stringer, bullets, and cell phone. Check. Yep, all here. I handed him his bag, and he returned mine. Don't forget your bow and arrows, Annie, or your pistol. Yes, sir, I say, and go to the gun safe. I pull out my .22 Magnum and tuck it in my left boot. I lock the safe back up and grab my quiver and bow. My little brother Jacob came running out with his slingshot. I'm ready, he said. My mother smirked as she came up behind him. Not tonight, Jacob, she said. Oh, why not? He whined. I patted his head and ruffled his hair. Too short, kid, gotta be at least this tall to hunt. I raised my hand just above his head. That's not fair, I'll never be that tall, he whined again. Father knelt beside him and said, Yes, you will, Jacob. Besides, I need you here to protect Mommy while Sissy and I are out. Only a big boy like you can do that. Jacob instantly perked up. Really? He beamed. Yes, can you do that for me? Father asked. Yes, Papa, Jacob said as he marched up to Mother. He looked like a little soldier. All right, Annette, let's go, Father said. Yes, sir, I said, and we headed out the door into the woods surrounding our home. Meet you back here, Father said. The usual bet, loser has to clean all the game, I asked. Sounds good, Father replied, and I flashed him a smile. Let's go then, he said. We parted ways to begin our hunt. My black waist-length hair is pulled into a ponytail to keep it out of my crystal blue eyes, with the exception of my side bangs, of course. I keep quiet, lurking through the darkness, stalking my next prey. My only light is that of the full moon. I'm at a slight disadvantage with my pale alabaster skin glowing in the moonlight. I pull my knife out of my right boot. Father insists all weapons be locked in the gun safe, but this one never leaves my side. I stalk a nearby rabbit. It looks injured, so Father won't accept it. I suppose I'll leave it for now. I return my knife to my boot for now. I equip my bow and pull an arrow out of my quiver. I throw a rock at a tree, and about 12 birds scattered. I take a deep breath, aim, and shoot. Bullseye! I ran up to where I see it land, and looks to be about 3-pound quail. Nice. I apologize, everybody. I'm flubbing a little bit. Perfect shot, a voice calls from behind me. I spin around, aiming my arrow in the direction of the disembodied voice. Who's there? I ask. I can see very subtle movement in the shadows. Suddenly, a man pounces on me, knocking my bow out of my hand and pinning me to the ground. I pull my knee up and he laughs. It's no use to try and struggle, he says. Who says I'm struggling? I say with a smirk. Huh? Without any warning, I grab my knife out of my boot and stab his side, turning his white hoodie a bright scarlet red. Damn it, he grunts, and I push him off of me. I stand and get into my fighting stance. Get up, I yell at him. What? He growls. I said, get the hell up. You aren't gonna run, he asks, as he stands up gripping his side. Not after you just attacked me. Damn, you've got some guts, boy. You have no idea who you're dealing with, I snap. He looked up at me, and I could see his face more clearly now. His skin is just as white as mine, shoulder-length, black scorched-like hair, eyes ringed and black. His look doesn't faze me. Growing up in the woods and hunting your whole life, you see a few things. You aren't scared, he asked as he pulls out his knife. Of you? Bitch, please, I say as I grin and twirl my knife in my hand. That seemed to piss him off, as he charged me. I dodged and managed to stab him in the shoulder. He swung his blade wildly, not even aiming. I dodged and blocked all of his hits. It was almost like we were dancing. I went to stab him again, but he countered and slashed my side. I could feel my warm blood seeping through my black tank top and streaming down my camo cargo pants. I had just bought this. Okay, now I'm pissed. I'm overly pissed. I am beyond pissed. I lunged at him, and he landed on his back. I pinned him down and held my knife above his face, tracing my blade along his jawline. Give me a reason not to kill you, I say coldly, staring into his eyes. 'Cause you need to go to sleep, he yells, and he kicks me off of him. I flew backwards and landed on my back. I could feel someone watching. I looked deeper into the part of the woods. Don't you dare, I yell. The man came from behind me and stabbed my arm. Eyes on me, he hissed. I stumbled back, gripping my arm. I felt a sudden rush of adrenaline and charged him. I kept hitting him over and over again. He would stab me, but I couldn't feel it. I began to laugh at his futile efforts. He landed a punch to my jaw and I fell to the ground. He jumped on top of me and pinned me down. He raised his knife, the blade glistening in the moonlight. This was fun, but it's time for you to go to sleep. He brings the knife down, but it stops just inches from my face. I notice two long black tentacles rip the man off of me. Damn it, Slendy, I yell. I told you I can handle myself. The man seemed dumbfounded. Slendy, you know this girl? He asked in an almost frightened tone. Jeffrey, Slendy yelled. You're lucky she didn't kill you before I got here. I marched up to Slendy and continued to scold him. Slender Man, I could have taken the little bastard. Why on earth did you help me? The man that I now know is Jeffrey said, you better watch who you're talking. Shut it, Jeffrey, I yelled. Well, that made him mad, and he started thrashing and cursing at me. Silence, Slendy demanded. Then he turned to me. I was actually helping Jeffrey, and besides Annette, what would your father say? At least now you can say you were attacked by a hog or something. But I don't have a hog to show, I stated. He pulled one from behind him and threw it in my direction. You do now, he said. All right, fine, I growled. Help me bandage myself up, and then get that weakling out of my sight, I said, pointing to Jeff. Weakling? Come say that to my face, he shouted. I marched up to him and snapped my fingers to signal Slendy to lower him to my level. He did as I suggested and lowered Jeff to my face. I got right in his face and looked him in those beady little eyes of his. With an emotion, how was that supposed I'm reading it directly from Wattpad where I wrote it, and it messed up my thing. With an emotionless and icy tone, I said, you are a weakling. I turned on my heel and walked a few feet away. I lifted up my shirt to reveal many stab wounds. I glanced over at Slendy and asked him to help bandage my largest wound on my side. I noticed Jeff blush and Slendy smacked him. I giggled slightly and began wrapping my arm. After I was bandaged up, Slendy knelt down to rub a special cream on my face. It reduces swelling and prevents bruising. I throw a roll of bandages and some disinfectant towards Jeff. He gives me a questioning look. Don't deny my kindness, I say coldly. He bandages himself up and throws my things back to me. Okay, Slendy, I gotta get going. Oh, by the way, Mom and Jacob want to see you soon, but you have to bring Masky. I don't want to have to interpret for you again, I say. All right, Annette, perhaps on Sunday, he says. I'm gonna hold you to that, I say as I walk away, carrying my quail and dragging my hog behind me. I wave goodbye, and Slendy does the same before teleporting away. I wish I could do the same, but I can't with such a big hog, so instead I begin my slow walk back to the house. Jeff's point of view. What the hell just happened? I was on a pretty damn good hunt, and this girl tries to kill me? Me? I'm trying to kill her, for Christ's sake. I should have killed her, not the other way around. What the hell is up with Slendy anyway? How does he know that girl? I've never heard anyone talk to him like that, order him around like that. Damn. Jeff, I told you not to go into that part of the woods, did I not? Slendy says, not looking at me. Yeah, Slendy. Look, I was passing into town. How was I supposed to know that bitch was going to be there, I said. Slendy gripped my neck with his tentacle, lifting me up and choking me. I clawed at him, trying to make him let go, but he wouldn't budge. Don't ever call Annette a bitch in my presence, he growled. I frantically nodded my head and he dropped me. I gasped for air and rubbed at my throat. Okay, now I know there's some serious connection between them two. Annette. Why does that seem so familiar? We reached the mansion and I go sit on the couch in the living room. Slendy calls Masky and Hoodie into the kitchen, probably to tell them about Annette. I wonder why he didn't call Toby. I look over and see Sally running down the stairs. Jeff! She squeals and practically tackles me in a hug. Where were you? You promised you'd watch Bleach with me, she whines. Sorry, Sal, I was out hunting. I say, oh, without me? She whines again. It wasn't much fun. What part are we at? I ask. The bouncer just about to enter the Soul Society, she squeals as she skips up the stairs. I follow her up to her room and sit on her pink carpeted floor. I stayed and watched Bleach with her until she fell asleep. I snuck out of her room and down the stairs. No one was around, so I decided to take a walk outside. I later found myself by a creek. I started listening to the woods around me. I could hear talking. I jumped up and realized I was close to a house. I got curious and walked closer and looked up into a second-story window. I saw Annette walking around. She looks pissed. I wonder why. I heard a door slam and I saw her punch a wall, making a massive dent. I climbed up the tree that was near her window and climbed through it. Hey, I said, what do you want? She asked coldly. Just wanted to see why you're denting your wall, I say. Why is it any of your concern? She asked, not looking at me. It's not, I was just curious, I say. Look, I don't need any of your shit right now, okay? I've got a lot of things on my mind. She turned to me, and the way she looked paralyzed me, so just get the hell away from me. She's crying. Why are you crying? I asked hesitantly. I'm not crying. Crying is for the weak, she said. Now get out before I don't know what came over me. I just hugged her. What do you think you're doing? She growled. Just shut up and cry, I said. Who the hell do you think... Look, I know you're upset, and keeping it bottled up won't help any, so just be a girl and cry already, I snapped. I felt her tense up and then slowly relax. I felt her tears soak my hoodie, but she never made a sound. I moved her over to her bed and she laid down. I lay next to her and she didn't object. She leaned into my chest and let more silent tears fall. Eventually she fell asleep, and I couldn't move my arm. I didn't want to wake her, but I knew what would happen if I stayed here. I slowly got up without disturbing her and make my way to her desk across the room. I left her a note and hopped out the window. When I got back to the mansion, Ben was playing video games in the living room. Where you been? He asked, not looking up from his game. Just out, I said as I walked up to my room. I heard Ben say. I get to my room and flop down on my bed. What happened with me tonight? I hugged her. Damn, what is wrong with me? I gotta see her again. I don't know why, but I've just got to. There's just something about her. About her name. Annette. Well, that was chapter 1 of Hunters, and I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and go check it out on Wattpad for yourself. There's already about 8 chapters, and this is just me narrating chapter 1. I really hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you later, my monsters. Scarlet LaCreepy out.